This is a video on how the way these people try to teach someone self-reliance just ends in mental dysregulation, and how it doesn't have to be that way. Um, I had a theory about why these people seemingly all have abandonment issues, which cause control issues, and it's so weird because you always think of abandonment issues as parents leaving. Well, sometimes it's just parents abandoning you. So I'm just gonna read this thing. Uh, Teaching self-reliance doesn't have to be cruel. It's about building competence and confidence and resilience through gradually empowerment, like assessing age-appropriate tasks, allowing choices, teaching problem solving, and supporting effort, rather than neglect or harshness, which can be damaging and create dependency on fear. The key difference is fostering an inner sense of capability versus leaving someone to struggle alone, which can lead to feeling abandoned or inadequate. Gradual responsibility, giving kids age appropriate chores, laundry, meals to build life skills and confidence. Learning from tasks, allowing natural consequences and errors to learn so that they learn to fix things themselves. Problem solving skills, teaching them how to how to find solutions, not just give answers. Emotional support, fostering self-worth so they know they're good enough even when facing challenges or other cruelty. Setting boundaries, helping them understand their value and what they will and won't accept from others. What cruelty looks like in its and it isn't self-reliance. Abandonment, leaving someone to face immense hardship like hunger with no support, thinking it builds character. Punishment, using difficulty as a form of punishment or control, often stemming from judgment about their circumstances. Ignoring pleas for help, refusing to help when it's genuinely needed, which erodes self-confidence and fosters a victim mindset. What do I always talk about with these people? They're the victims in everything. They murder somebody, they're the victims in it. They do something stupid, they're the victims in it. And that's because this entire model right here explains every problem these people have. Okay? Everyone in this church isn't immune from this, and it's because their upbringing, their religion is toxic. The way they raise their kids are toxic. We were at the park, my brother and I. We were at CB Smith Park, and this lady was just ignoring her kid. He was screaming and crying on the patio, and she was just ignoring him. That kid's going to grow up to have control issues, abandonment issues, and be extremely emotionally dysregulated. Okay. And in this church, it builds character. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's good for you. Somebody constantly hurting you is not good for you. Okay, there's nothing about punching somebody in the face repeatedly that is going to solve the problem. These people believe they have solved the problem because, either you'll do something or you won't. There's no, why don't we find a better way of doing this, and maybe your way sucks. This is the toxicity of religion, by the way, because there's a bunch of people out there who practice religion who openly treat their kids in this form. And the word for it is neglect. Okay? And here's the problem. These kids, they go to school and they become problems for other kids because they're mentally ill. And they go, my childhood was normal. No, your childhood wasn't normal. It was overseen by a religious zealot who believed that, treating you like shit somehow turned you into a great and wonderful, super empowered person when all it did was give you abandonment issues, which every member of this church, I couldn't understand it for the life of me because they all seemingly have parents, all seemingly had some type of abandonment issues. And then they would talk about resilience, and I guess if you only care about resilience and you want it at no matter, at any cost, well, abuse your kids. I mean, I was abused to shit, and I didn't learn resilience. I learned that I'm just gonna get the shit kicked out of me no matter what happens. I learned that I can't stand up for myself because I just get the shit kicked out of me. I want to talk about punching up, which is something I talk about. Taking on bigger enemies, you never win. And that is just a fact of my life. When I used to swing at Nick, it didn't work. When I tried to take down this church, it didn't work. Okay. Once again, I'd have to have a written note from everybody in the church to just go, we're just going to let you do it. We're going to shut the fuck up. We're going to face the wall. We're going to do the right thing because our church is out of control and we commit human sacrifices and murder innocent kids and say we murder innocent women and then we just keep doing bad shit because it's our religion and our religion's really fucking stupid. Somebody please stop it. That would be the appropriate response. But these people don't believe in that because at the end of the day, it gives them power. It gives them a sense of control. I do have personal fucking curiosities about shit, kind of like how Sean Andrews they've been trying to murder Sean Andrews forever, and yet he seemingly has 2 kids and a wife, and he's not dead. And I don't know how that works, exactly, because these guys are supposed to be in control, and yet that guy's not dead. Okay. I don't really comprehend any of this shit at all. Why on earth, like, you can find a better way of teaching somebody a skill, and you would just go with the dumb thing, which involves cruelty, which involves abandoning and going, you figure it out. You figure it out. There is something to be said about hand-holding, where somebody becomes codependent because somebody's constantly holding their hand. But when you read it right here, and it talks about how to actually teach somebody resilience, how to teach somebody self-reliance without the cruelty, I think that's the method you want to go with, because abandonment issues are fucking serious. Okay, abandonment issues, 90% of, like, high school kids that murder their girlfriends or do something stupid and crazy, like drink poison together, they have abandonment issues. They're afraid of being abandoned, and they're afraid of being abandoned to the point that they're willing to kill to never feel that ever again. Okay, and where do those abandonment issues come from? Religion. The answer is religion. And you know, this is the thing with religious fucks, they'll watch this video and go, no, it comes from you. It doesn't come from my religion. It can't be bad. It can be bad. In fact, you're probably mentally ill, which is why you go around just shit-flinging and blaming other people for what you do. You have no agency in your life because your religion stole that from you. It stole your agency. You have no... you're a mindless tool. And I feel bad for you. Yeah. I've wondered about this for a while, and this really throws out my stupid theory of the unconscious mind feels abandoned because it's actually the shadow self, and these people switch to conscious and unconscious minds. You can throw that out and just go, they left the kid out there and told him to figure it out. And as a result, they became emotionally dysregulated, which is a form of emotionally stunted. They became, they developed abandonment issues. Yeah. Using difficulty as a form of punishment or control often stems from judgment about other circumstances. Like, the word's cruelty. Okay. So I guess the question is, does teaching self-reliance have to be cruel? Or your religion just make you a cruel, violent, callous, stupid bastard that makes all the wrong decisions, and then you perpetuate it by teaching your kids the same lessons you learned in the same way, when you can teach a lesson without actually having to hurt somebody, or there are other ways you can teach somebody something. Okay. I argue the problem with these people is they have no other ability to express themselves. This is the thing. They throw out sympathy and empathy, so the only thing it comes back to is control, and control equals cruelty. Okay? I want to be in control of this thing, and I am willing to commit any atrocity in order to be in control of this thing. Because somebody needs to be in control. We can agree on that, right? Why not me? Because I have control issues. That is the notion of this church. This is how these people think. They are violent, stupid people. One of the things that's been playing over in my head is the devil worshippers in this church and how they do the regular rituals where they literally eat kids and murder people. They just abduct them locally and kill them in this church's giant secret buildings with their secret fucking human sacrifice rooms and shit. And I thought to myself, why on earth would you let something that disgusting exist? And I realized the truth behind that is you're in control of it because it's a part of your church. And these people aren't out of control. Well, they are out of control, but they're not out of your control. As long as you feed them the innocent people they need to kill and eat, and the innocent children they need to kill and eat, in your disgusting church, you're in control of it. And that's all that really matters, right? Not justice or morality or any of these other things other people find to be important. I remember this quote I kept saying to Anal Eating Mummy God, and it was, Jesus can find the good in any situation. And I used to say that a lot, growing up. I used to say that a lot, even though I'm not religious. And I realized when he heard that, he was like, yeah, that means if I have a pedophile that rapes kids and is a cannibalistic and eats people and kills everybody, that I can find a use for that instead of just putting it in prison where it belongs. Yeah. A guy once said, religion's great right up until it gets into baby fucking wrong, and then secretly we worship Satan and then fear doctrine. Yeah. I guess the point in this video is there's better ways of doing things outside of just being unnaturally cruel about it and then wondering why your kid's so fucking weird or why your church has to create a human trafficking ring to get its men women because its men are boys. They're boys. They lack sympathy or empathy and can't connect with anybody in a meaningful way. And then when they meet somebody that can, they have to fuck that person up to prove their own objective reality is correct. They have to prove to you, I'm correct, but they are correct. They have to prove to you they are correct by interfering and then forcing themselves to be correct. Everything they do is fistition. That guy has sympathy and empathy and he thinks he's gonna get a girl. Not if I murder her first. Not if I lie, not if I manipulate and interfere. I have to prove my own objective reality is correct when it's not. It's wrong, but you're just forcing it to be correct because you want to live in an imaginary bubble. Possibly because you have abandonment issues. Possibly because you've never considered doing anything any other way because this is how it's been, you were told to do it, and this is how it's done, and there's nothing smart about the behavior. It's just a mindless monkey replicating a system without questioning is the validity, or if this system is even necessary. I can't really think of a good metaphor for this. But it would be like if somebody discovered, like, I don't know, nuclear radiation and was like, nuclear radiation is the only way to do things. This is it right here, nuclear radiation. There is no other way. And then somebody else came up with other ways of doing things. And then that guy with the nuclear radiation was like, no! And then just poisoned everybody. He destroyed everything, got everybody killed, and then just kept doing it because they're like, this is the only thing I know, therefore it is correct. It's not. Okay? Just because you don't know the correct way doesn't mean you can't learn the correct way.